Hi, I'm Jennifer Fox with Music Educator Resources, and today is music teacher tip number 34. So after needing to take some time and simplify things for a while, I took a sabbatical from music teacher tips for 2 years. 2 years honestly has flown by, but I am back and I am excited to be back. While I was thinking about what I would do for my first music teacher tip back, self-care screamed out to me. And what a better month than this month, February, than to talk about and show ourselves some teacher love. As you know, teaching can be challenging and it can be demanding. It's important for us to prioritize our self-care in order to maintain physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So I thought I would break up this tip into 10 self-care tips. So the first one is prioritize your mental health. This one I put at the very top of the list. Our mental health is a thing that will help us be the best that we can be. There are things that can get us through times of anxiety, times of just challenges that might be going in our lives, challenges through teaching as well. Overwhelm, that's a big one for me, and discouragement. So first you need to know your triggers, what makes you anxious or overwhelmed, and be aware of them. So be thinking, okay, what is causing me to have these feelings? And what are some of the things that you can do to get ahead of them? If there are common triggers that happen certain times a year, maybe a certain event is coming up or a certain project or something that you do every year, and that's coming up, that might be a trigger that is kind of set in the calendar. And so can you do something to plan ahead of time where you don't feel that overwhelm or the anxiety to get through it? But once you're able to identify your triggers, you can then take some steps on how to respond to them. So some of these other self-care tips are going to align with each other. So the second one I want to talk about is breathing. Breathe, just breathe. This is a word I have to remind myself all the time. I even have the t-shirt. Just the other night, I was driving to an evening concert that some of my students were participating in, and night driving causes me great anxiety. And I wasn't looking forward to having to make the 40-minute drive and at night on top of it. On the way, there was an accident on the freeway, which meant standstill traffic, and it was going to cause me to be late. I was supposed to be there to hand out programs, be there early. And if you know me at all, I do not like to be late. That's like, that's an anxiety inducing thing for me. So I sat in the car while I was in traffic, knowing I was going to be late, and I just took nice, deep breaths. And before I knew it, I was there. Was I late? Yes, I was 10 minutes late. But the programs were handled. There was a couple other teachers that were already doing them, and all was well. I was able to walk away from that, and because it was handled. All right, the third self-care tip is detox. So you want to detox anything that may be causing negative energy in your life. This may mean a temporary detox from social media. It may mean saying no to that lunch with a friend who creates negative energy. Being able to detox from things that bring you down will help prioritize your mental health and your physical health. So you want to surround yourself with positivity as much as you can. Surround yourself with things that uplift. Write or print out some affirmations that you could say to yourself each day, or read. Get together with a friend who puts a smile on your face and gives you that uplift, that boost. Listen to a podcast that might give you a boost. Be the person who is giving that positive energy to others. All right, our next one is gratitude. Sometimes the best way to help us with our mental health and even our physical health, like I said, everything aligns, is to give gratitude. And this could be through meditation. It could be through journaling, through prayer, by sending quick thank you notes or messages or emails to someone. And I tell you, on the receiving end of that thank you, that is an uplift as well, to receive and to give. So both are getting something out of that gratitude, which is awesome. And our next one is nurture yourself. So what does that look like for you? It's different for everybody. So kind of be thinking, some ideas, read a book, take a bath, get a massage, do a creative project, something that's not related to teaching. Take a walk, take a nap. I love naps. Listen to your favorite songs, check out a new podcast, solo dance party. Sometimes just crank on that music and just get it all out. But do something for you. All right, our next tip is connect with peers. Connect with other music teachers for support, for sharing ideas and continuous learning. Facebook groups are great. I love them. But don't be afraid to meet up with a colleague for lunch, attend a live music teacher conference, or a local music meeting. Something about live, it's just different than recordings. And I'm an introvert, so I love my recorded webinars and my recorded conferences. Like during COVID, that was not anything I had to adapt to. I enjoyed them. But live is a whole other thing that really can uplift you. It's great to have those connections, those live connections. All right, next is set boundaries. It's hard to say no to people and things that we care about. I totally get it. This is a big one I've had to learn over the years. I don't like the feeling of letting people down, and FOMO is real, right? And that sometimes gets me in trouble. I've learned over the years that when we set boundaries, we are freeing ourselves from a weight that likes to rest on our shoulders. When we say no, we are saying yes to your loved ones, your health, your teaching, your students, anything else that's important in your life. Okay, next is simplify. This is a big one for me too. This happens to be my husband's word this year, and honestly, it can easily be my word every year to remind me, simplify, simplify. And that's what happened to Music Teachers Resources for a couple of years. It was, we got into the COVID and everything, and something had to give. My priorities had to shift a little bit during that time. And I had to simplify some things and put pause on some things. It seems that a good chunk of my stress is usually self-inflicted. I have so much that I want to do, but just not enough time nor energy to do it all. Here's the thing, we don't have to do it all. There's never going to be enough time, enough hours in the day. And even if there were more hours in the day, we would still fill it up. So if you're like me and tend to put way too much time on your plate, step back and evaluate where you can start simplifying. 4 years ago, my husband and I KonMari'd our entire house, and it was quite the project, let me tell you. I won't go through the whole process with you right now, but the biggest takeaway was asking yourself as you go through things, does it spark joy? The simple question plays a huge role in not only simplifying, but also in self-care. Every once in a while, ask yourself in what you are doing for something that's stressing you out, bringing anxiety, overwhelm, whatever. Does it spark joy? And if it doesn't, then you know that it's time to let it go. You know, it's the time to say no. If you're interested, go to the blog and search for the blog post, Tidying Up the Music Studio, 3 Things I Learned from Marie Kondo. Okay, our next one is prioritizing your physical health. I like this quote from Chuck Pagano. He says, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. I remember someone saying this to me when I was at a Zumba class one day, and it was like a light bulb moment for me. The last couple of years, I've had to go to physical therapy for some different issues. And I remember at the time being so frustrated because I feel like I wasn't going anywhere. The progress just didn't seem like it was being made. And there's nothing worse than that feeling of not progressing, especially when you're in pain. So finally, one day they tried something different, and it seemed to make a little bit difference, but not a whole lot, but enough to make me go, hmm. So the next week, they weren't planning on doing it again, but I figured, okay, it was worth trying it again. Let's try it again and see if it will do anything more. So I asked, can we try it again? And that time, my body responded in a way that totally released the pain that I was experiencing. It's been 10 months and that pain has not returned. So I know as teachers, our health tends to be put on the back burner because we're so busy taking care of everyone else. We're taking care of our families, our students, and it's hard to keep track and on top of everything, especially for ourselves. There were numerous times that I thought about quitting physical therapy. It was hard for me to even go in the first place because of all the appointments that I had to set during the week. And it took a big chunk of my calendar, and I hated that. I hated that feeling of always going to physical therapy. It was just felt like it was taking too much time during the week. And I had so much other important things to do. But had I quit prematurely, I would still be experiencing that pain, that awful, awful pain. So prioritizing your physical health means getting regular exercise, eating a healthy diet, and getting enough sleep. And I also want to say physical health and mental health, they go hand in hand. They really do. Because when you're not feeling good, whether it's pain or just low energy or whatever, that affects your mental health. So they go together. All right, last is to seek support. Sometimes the stress and the sometimes the stress, the burnout, the anxiety and overwhelm is all too much for us to handle. So don't hesitate to seek out professional help when needed. That is what they're there for. So I hope these tips have been helpful. Remember, you are important. You are enough. You are doing great things and you are needed. Don't let the actions or negative words of others dictate your self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential to being an effective and fulfilled music teacher. It's time that you gave yourself some teacher love. Until next time, happy teaching.